If you've been looking for homes in this busy summer market of 2021, you've probably had the same thought that lots of other buyers have had. You're saying to yourself, oh my gosh, these prices just keep going up. If I buy now, what happens when we get this wave of foreclosures and all the prices fall? Let's talk about that. I'm SandiWarner with Warner Realty Group, and today we're going to talk about this wave of foreclosures that have been predicted kind of all over some of the media and on YouTube. And let's talk a little bit about the reality behind that. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to put up a slide here, and it's just we're going to talk a little bit about forbearance, because that plays on whether or not we'll have foreclosures. Many people are afraid that we're experiencing the same market that we saw in 2008 that led up to the devastation of the housing crash in 2009 through up to 2013. I think at the height of 2013, 9 million homes were in foreclosure, and that's a very real problem. And people couldn't give away homes, and people are afraid. Buyers and sellers, they're all afraid that's going to happen again right now. So let's look at the data. You know me, I'm all about data, no drama. The first slide you're going to see here is talking about forbearance. And what forbearance means is that you have the right to go talk to your bank and do a loan workout to, kind of come to terms and what can you do? Maybe under COVID, people with certain restrictions were allowed to put their loan into forbearance. They didn't have to make any payments, or maybe they just could do smaller payments, but they had choices. They had options. And if you look at the slide in front of you, this is some data from First American MBA. And back in May of 2020, or before that, probably in March, the talking heads were projecting that 30% of all the homes in America would go into forbearance. And those that tracked this looked for the top of that market. And in May of 2020, the highest number of homes to date over the last year, the highest number of homes that were in forbearance, that took advantage of this forbearance, and it was easy to do, was 8.47. So people were projecting 30% would do forbearance, and only 8.4% did. Now, 8.4% is a lot of people, and that's a problem, but we're talking about reality versus perception. So 8% of Americans took advantage of forbearance. A year later, that blue number, that's data from this July. 3.5% of American loans are in forbearance. That's good news. That means that's not foreclosure. That's people who are working out their loans. The next slide, this is actually looking at the first numbers on the red. You'll see the 4.76 million American mortgages were in active forbearance in May of 2020. 4.76 million Americans were worried that they couldn't pay their mortgage. That's real. And that when you as a buyer are concerned that this is going to happen to you, that's a real concern. That's valid. If you look at the green numbers in July, now 1.86 million Americans are in forbearance. So it's a quarter of what we thought it was going to be. And we're starting to get good economic news. We're starting to see jobs coming back. So that big window of danger feels like it's passing a little bit. The next slide is talking about of the this is the period of the last year from May of 2020 to July of now. This is what happened to that group of people who were in forbearance. The green numbers on the right, which is the biggest part of this circle, 23.2% of the people who signed up for forbearance never used it. They made their payments as normal. They're probably cautious people, like many of you. They said, I'm going to sign up for forbearance in case I lose my job and anything happens. Those 23% were okay. They didn't need to take advantage of it. They paid their mortgages and they have exited forbearance. 7.4%, that little green, the little middle one there on the green slide, they paid their mortgages off while they were in forbearance. So they don't have any more payments to make. They have 100% equity in their home. 13.5% of past due payments of that sector are now current. So then we go to the blue section. This group of people in the blue section, they have a repayment plan. That's 38.7 total. 28% of them are in a loan deferral and 10% are in current modification. So still in a little bit of a danger zone. We're still watching them, but they have options. Don't forget, in the housing crisis of 2010, no forbearance. Banks wouldn't talk to you. The banks wouldn't make a deal with you. You either were current or you were not current and you were going to have foreclosure. This is a whole new world for us and people are taking advantage of it. So 38% of the people who were in the forbearance plan in the last year now have a repayment plan. 17.2% are still in trouble. Those are the Americans we want to watch out for. And I'm not using Americans in a political way. I'm saying this is a picture of the American housing and mortgage market. 17% were still in trouble when this graph was done. They had no loss or mitigation plan, or they had short sales or deed in lieu. They had other things going on. Of the 17.2% who are in this red zone, bear in mind that, and I wish I had a picture of the slide, over 90% of these people have at least 10% equity in their home. When you as a buyer are thinking, oh, I'm going to wait until we get a wave of foreclosures, or I'm not going to buy this home because the prices have gone too high and we're going to see a price drop. What you're thinking is that what happened in 2010, where all these homes went into foreclosure and the banks were giving them away, that's going to happen again. The reason that's not going to happen again is because of the people who were in trouble, we only have this small slice of people left who are in trouble. That's a problem, but it's not an indicator that we're going to have a wave of foreclosures because those people have at least 10% equity in their home. In the 2010 crisis, people had negative equity. Now, because the prices are continuing to rise, we saw a 10% equity increase last year. We're on track for another 10% equity increase this year. Even the people who are in trouble, even that little slice of 1.5%, they have enough money in their home to sell it, pay off the mortgage, pay their realtor so somebody can come sell the house for them and still walk away with some money. And that means they're not going to come out on the foreclosure market. Or if they do, they're going to sell at the same price because we don't have enough inventory. So are we about to see a wave of foreclosures? This is the best quote I saw on it. The likelihood of us having a foreclosure crisis again is about 0%. It's scary out there. It is a time where you're seeing the prices go up and up and up, and you don't want to buy a home and have the market fall out from underneath you. I get that. Understand that any foreclosures that come onto the market right now are going to be absorbed, and unless we start building homes or we have a massive increase in inventory, they're going to get absorbed by the market, and you're not going to see a big price drop. I hope that's good information. If you want a copy of these slides, we'll post them down below. Just go to the YouTube channel. I hope this helps you. I'm SandiWarner with Warner Realty Group, making the complex simple.